So my coworker thinks Diddy ain't going to jail. I'm trying to figure out how. Diddy already in jail. Oh, he gonna get out. He gonna get out. He gonna get out. Yeah, they gonna let him out into the yard.
That is crazy.
My coworker's crazy. Diddy's not going to jail. Diddy is in jail, sir.
The diddler's in jail.
What up, what up, what up? It's your girl Jupiter.
Hi, I'm Erica.
And we're here to talk today because my coworker still thinks, Diddy ain't going to jail.
Okay.
Honestly.
Really? No, for real?
Okay, so the thing was, after Cassie came out with her lawsuit, I said, oh man, Diddy might go to jail. Mm-hmm. He was like, oh, Diddy ain't going to jail for that. And so then all the other lawsuits came out, and I was like, Diddy might go to jail. And he was like, Diddy ain't going to jail for that. Then Diddy was under arrest. And now he's like, well, Diddy will get out.
Like right now?
Yeah.
Okay. He gonna stand beside it.
He'll stand beside. Now, that said, full disclosure, so far he's been right. Technically, Diddy is not going to jail for the Cassie thing or the other lawsuits, all the stuff that I'm like, how about this? How about that? He's like, no, he's not going to jail for that. He's not going. He is right in that regard. He's not going to jail for that.
Okay.
But I feel like they're finna pull a Joe the Tiger King. Because, I mean, how many of us remember, I'm like, oh man, he might go to jail for the Carole Baskin thing.
Yeah.
And then you look it up and it's like he's full blown locked up for. Bless you.
Thank you.
Poor thing, you okay?
I'm okay.
But no, he's full blown locked up for something else. So I think that's gonna be what this is. Like Diddy, the feds are throwing all this SA stuff into the media and all the stuff about grape and all these horrible debauched things to get us emotionally responsive.
I know.
But he's really gonna be locked up for something that I had. I'm looking at the charges and arson.
What? What arson?
Yeah, that's on there. Arson and racketeering and yeah, there's certain stuff that makes sense, but the SA thing, I'm like, is that on there?
I have not been keeping up with Diddy.
I don't think so far. It's a little hard to understand. All this stuff is kind of convoluted. I'm doing research. I looked at the Making of Bad Boy documentary with all his people.
Take that. Oh, just joking.
Oh,
sorry.
I don't. So I saw the Making of a Bad Boy, right?
Can't stop, won't stop.
With all his family members and people who actually knew him firsthand, and then of course other accounts as well. But that said, I saw that. And then I saw, what is it called? Diddy the Boule Boy or whatever.
The what?
It's something about some sect of a secret society that he's supposed to be part of. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's juicy. But the point is, everybody has all these different stories. And I done watched all of it, y'all. I done took notes. So we're going to break it down in segments. This is part one. Welcome.
And I'm here for it.
This is a lot.
I don't know anything, so I'm just here to ask questions. You know what I mean?
We're going the very Shonda Rhimes storytelling style because it's honestly hard to just say from the beginning to the end what happened. Sorry.
So where you starting at?
I'm going to start with right now.
Present day.
Real quick, then we're going to go to the beginning. So present day, Diddy is sitting in jail. He is...
Right now.
Right now, he's in jail. He's awaiting trial and he hasn't made bail.
Oh, he not enjoying that food.
He continues to not make bail, by the way. He continues to try, but he hasn't made bail so far.
Why? He don't got no money?
Oh, no, it's not about the money. The judge keeps deeming him a danger to...
Oh, a flight risk.
Okay, so his lawyer was like, well, we can give you his passport, but... So because of that, the judge couldn't say he's a flight risk, even though we all know he still is. You don't need you don't really need a passport to fly. That's cute. But
should did a Russell Simmons.
That's another story, because that's kind of a secret. Don't get me distracted.
Okay.
So he's waiting for trial. He keeps getting denied for bail. They're saying he's dangerous to they didn't say society. I think the way it was phrased was the women that are suing him. Mm-hmm. They don't want him to get out and intimidate them. But really, I don't think they care about those women. I think they just didn't, they needed a reason to keep them. So they were like, oh, we're trying to save the women. Because still, I'm like, is that part of the case? Now, it is in general. I think there was a charge of sexual misconduct or something like that. But as far as I was able to find, they hadn't named more than one person in that specific charge. So somebody was like, oh, it must be Cassie. I don't know. I don't know who it could be. But
too many women.
It's just one. That's my thing. Like, is there just one? So if the SA charge just has one, the rest of his charges, as far as the racketeering, the arson, the witness tampering, and all that sort of stuff, there's horrible rumors that he is about to be charged as well with the murder of Tupac.
What?
Now, for me, how convenient.
Right. I feel like now they're reaching. They're reaching. Tupac, really?
I can't say I can't say I 100% don't believe it. Right?
I don't believe it.
It's far fetched.
Yeah.
Based off what Diddy's done, I can't put it past him. But that far back, for maybe one of the first things that he did that would really get him street cred, for it to be that, like
Tupac, no. Biggie, possibly. I just put it
There's
out there.
so many people that could have, had something to do with the Tupac murder. It feels like that one, they're just trying to like go ahead and close that out and use him to close that out, even though the feds probably already know who did that, and they're just not interested in the justice of it. They just like, hey, let's go and close this out too.
Go ahead and close this cold case.
Because I mean,
close it. 30-year case.
Diddy is more cold blooded than we knew. Right. Maybe later, like down the line. Now, Diddy now could have done the Tupac thing back then. But did he then? I don't think so. I don't think he didn't have enough. There wasn't enough. Now, the only rumor that I could even associate with that being possible was that Tupac was dating one of Diddy's exes. And not even dating like officially, like talking to. Because really he was dating Kidada Jones when he died.
Oh,
did Diddy ever date Kidada? I need to look into that part. I forgot to look into that part. But unless that was his ex too, I don't see why he would die.
Kidada, if you want to sit down and do an interview, let us know.
I ain't gonna lie, Kidada. Talk to us, right? Like, you could pretty much get away with it. Nobody would see it yet.
No, for real.
But seriously, okay, so there's that. Let's just go back. That's where Diddy's at now.
Okay.
Now, based off of what people that know him said, even at a young age, he was already flashy. Okay. He had on jewelry. He had, swag. He had like.
Diddy came from money.
He had confidence. Well, I mean, did he come from money?
Okay, he wasn't poor. He wasn't destitute.
Nah, he couldn't be poor with his family, like, giving him that kind of stuff. That said, though, I couldn't just get past it. Even then, I paused it, like, in the beginning of the documentary. I was like, wait. And they showed a little cute picture. Anybody who's seen it, I may or may not be able to find it. It's hard to find at this point. I seen it, and then it was removed. I was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
I accidentally seen it for free, y'all, I think.
Coincidence?
So, that said, he has bracelets, a pinky ring. I mean, I've never seen a 5-year-old with a pinky ring.
A 5-year-old with a pinky ring.
If the picture and age is accurate, but these are people who knew him. This is like his family and friends from back then.
Close people.
Yeah, okay. So your boy got swag already, right? And then they just continue to tell the story. But for me, I was like, well, a 5-year-old ain't picking his own jewelry.
No.
A 5-year-old ain't even saying, give me jewelry. So somebody was dressing him like a pimp. I'm going to let it go. But
most of the time, the mothers are the ones that dresses their kids. So we trying to say that his mom.
But Jay-Z's referenced in his raps directly sending his son to school and all his jewelry just to let the kids know, like, mothers can be the ones who are
Jay-Z have a son? Oh my gosh. y'all.
So it's not something that he referenced doing. It's something that he referenced that he would do. You know what I mean? Like it's
okay, so men would do it too. Okay, I forgot he had some y'all. Oof. Sorry. Yeah, I just know about the girls.
So back to Diddy.
Yeah.
That said, though, a 5-year-old ain't picking out jewelry. You know, he's not, at least not at first.
No.
Right? So the parents want the kid to be flashy and they want him to kind of know who he is. It's black culture to be a little flashy, and it's also Italian. We'll let it go, right? But it's unclear, like, his dad's very specific job. Mm-hmm. But he gets money. He takes care of his family, and one day he passes away, you know, hanging out with a drug dealer.
Sounds like he died under mysterious.
He was hanging out with a drug dealer. Now, one report said he was the driver for Frank Lucas.
Ooh.
Another report says that he was his own operation. It was just like working with Frank. Mm-hmm. And another report says he had nothing to do with drugs. He kind of like died in the crossfire.
Oh.
But based off of a 5-year-old having a lot of jewelry, being brought up in not the best neighborhood, I wouldn't imagine. I'm sorry, I can't imagine that his dealings were not unscrupulous. Like, most people would be trying to save their money to get on up out the hood.
Yeah.
If they can, I don't know. Then again, maybe you know, you let your kids know what it's like to have luxury while you can. I don't know.
The mama has money?
That part wasn't clear, at least not in his early days. So after the dad passes away, though, the mother puts him in private school or like a Catholic school.
Cheap.
It's either a Catholic or private school. But yeah, it's a school with tuition.
What's it?
All right, like
that's not cheap at all.
Yeah, it's not. So he goes to his private school. He gets into Howard University, HBCU.
Nice.
I mean, and he's not like a bad student. He doesn't get, to my recollection, they didn't just mention him being no kind of prodigy or nothing, but he's not a bad student, right? He's got multiple reputations, though. On campus, he's a party guy.
Oh, he like parties already, huh?
Him like party.
He like to party.
Yeah, real bad. And ain't nothing wrong with that, but he's also known as kind of like a ladies' man. And then, like, as a little subgroup to that, he's a little bit aggressive. He's an aggressive ladies man. Like, so he's a ladies man, but he's mean. He can be mean.
Oh.
And then it just full blown goes to people saying, well, he would slap his girlfriend around in the courtyard. Like,
oh.
And what was y'all doing? That's my question, but whatever.
Back in the 90s, girl, please get slapped around. Tell somebody you want. You know how it goes.
Well, you ain't have to tell nobody. They was in public.
You thought they were going to help?
Well, apparently not. In
Dr.
college,
Dre?
though, he was still flashy. You know, he still liked to be the guy that you know, was the go-to, if you will. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Still, it was hard to pick out his real personality. Like, he has so many different sides.
Multifaceted.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, eventually, though, he quit school. He wants to be in the music industry. He wants to be a record producer. Unclear if he said he wanted to be a rapper at that point. We all know what that led to. Like, did he stop trying to rap? But
he was Puff Daddy for a stint.
So, yeah, he quit school and got an internship at, I believe it was Uptown Records.
Oh, I know Uptown.
You do?
And that with Michael Jackson? Oh.
Is it?
Motown. Sorry.
Oh.
I got Motown and Uptown. My bad. Never mind.
So, but at Uptown Records, he does good. He learns. He has a mentor. I forget his mentor's name at this record label, but that mentor takes a, liking to him and vice versa. The problem, though, is that he doesn't understand that his mentor is not the head of the record label. So by the time he wants to bring in rappers like Biggie, they have a little bit more of a harder message, they're not interested. Him got a problem with that. Like, he don't like it. So his mentor at the time says, well, maybe we can just like let him branch off, do his own thing, and then he can just fight for his own rights and do what he got to do. We gonna fire him from this section, but like help him out with another one.
Okay.
So it's not bad, right?
No.
Right. So he brings in all these people and he's putting together his own label and everything seems to be good. He's still involved with parties. He still gets invited to a bunch of different types of parties though. Like he has the parties that he throws and then he starts to go to these parties with, I don't want to say the wrong name.
Let me think.
It's a white guy though. It's a white guy all of a sudden. The guy at Uptown Records, his mentor was this black guy, older gentleman. And then he starts to kick it, as he starts his own label and starts to make his own discoveries.
Wayne Brady.
Oh my God. It's a white guy on the outside.
Oh.
As well.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, but this guy starts to take him to parties.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, oh, maybe because this guy starts to take him to parties, that's where he learns all his Diddy party crap.
From this white guy.
Yeah.
That's not Wayne Brady. I'm done. All right. So this white man take him under his wings to show him how to party. Was this man?
I don't honestly. For me though, it felt like.
Was this man with money? He had money.
Oh God, yeah. Diddy had. You know what? I'm lying because I started to say Diddy had to pay for discretion, but nope. In the documentary, it said a lady got paid. I think $100 a day or something like that. $120, maybe $150 max. Like it was not more than $150. She did not say a number higher than that to work for like 18 hours as a private chef, cooking breakfast, lunch, dinner, providing snacks, gourmet stuff like a la carte for Diddy and his guests. And I think the lady's suing him. It's a public story now, but she. Oh my God.
What?
I'm sorry. It's an old story. That's another thing, y'all. In my research, it was hard to distinguish stories from now and before. This is Diddy's chef from
the 90s, early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Okay. Yikes.
But yeah, her lawsuit came out, I think in I need to go back and refer to my notes. Don't worry. It'll be a good timeline in part 2. Y'all, it was so convoluted. I just had to get some of this out. I really couldn't help myself. Okay. But yes, there's a private chef who was suing Diddy before or adjacent to Cassie, but had known him either at the same time or before Cassie.
Oh my goodness.
And he had paid her that little small amount of money. Now, my thing is, if I went to culinary art school, you're going to pay me by the hour.
Yeah.
I'm not making $150 a day. That is not for 18 hours.
I'm sorry.
It got down to the point where she was making less than $10 an hour.
Did she sign a contract?
I don't know. But what happened was when she did make food, not only was it for this little minuscule amount, and I get it, like you got to get your feet wet, all right? Like maybe you need your experience. And at the end of the day, saying, hey, I was a private chef to Diddy is in and of itself a huge, stepping point. So maybe that's why he felt comfortable paying her that shitty salary.
Taking advantage.
But God don't like ugly. That said, it still wasn't worth her coming in to see his privates or to see him
Excuse me,
in a state where and his guests, all of them in a state, and would come down and request the food at this time. It's not like, oh, I forgot it was time to eat and you just happened to catch us in this state. Like, no, he would say, hey, bring us up some food in 30 minutes and go up there and begin an orgy. So she would walk in the middle. Or, he would ring the bell and call on the intercom, hey, we hungry. And she would come upstairs and he'd get in sorry. But that said,
wow.
These are things that people heard about, right? So now fast forward Back to the Future, which is now, and we're all just like, man, this is just shocking. So let's go back again.
Okay.
Like Diddy has, got hired at Uptown. after leaving Howard, got fired from Uptown, started his own thing. Now ended up throwing a party, or not a party, a concert. And I kid you not, it looked like Astro World. But what happened for Diddy didn't happen for Travis Scott.
Ah, that's why.
Travis Scott had to pay. What Diddy had to do, like, he got like a slap on the wrist. Like, he paid people pennies, and he ended up more famous because of what happened. He oversold and lied about, but oversold a concert.
What concert? He was throwing
something called the College Center, or I got some notes. Let me refer to my notes. And City College. Yeah, 1991.
Oh.
Towards the end of the year, he had put together a concert, and I mean, he had really, did what he does and sold the mess out of it, and it wasn't safe. The way security set up, it wasn't. Like, there was no infrastructure set for people to be safe the way he had packed them people in and outside that building.
Oh my goodness.
So when they thought they were just gonna close the doors and block people off, people got smushed. It was like a Selena concert meets Black Friday sales at Walmart. Like, people was just getting stomped on.
They were trampled to death?
They were. 9 of them.
Oh, how sad.
And after that, his name got even bigger. So that was that.
How was that?
Good
publicity, I guess?
I don't know what it was, but I will tell you this. It wasn't good. So.
Wow.
Moving forward, it was like, and I'll admit, I've always been curious about why we see something bad and gravitate. So after Diddy did what he did, it's not like people were happy. Mm-hmm. People weren't like, oh, you did a good job, Diddy. But because of it, people started to watch him. He was able to say, oh, it wasn't my fault. I didn't oversell it. It was just a tragic accident, and it was terrible. And he was able to kind of pay a lot of the families off not to really make too much of a fuss. I think it was a mixture of shock and a little bit of awe. Shock and awe, literally. Like, shock that happened, and they were kind of in awe that more people weren't upset. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of get it, because they didn't say this, but I think that for them, it was probably like, I can't believe this happened. Did anyone else see? Parents were probably at home. Like, did any of the other concert goers see? And if they did, everyone who bought a ticket to a Diddy party after that was kind of just hoping to get stomped to death, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. Like, a concert, a part, whatever. You sold it to the point where people got smushed to death. As the person who sold the tickets, why should you feel bad if people keep buying them?
They're not.
I couldn't, personally. Well, then again, yes, I could, because I'm an empath, and it's like to my detriment. It's to the point where I forgive people so bad because I just feel for them, and it's not good. So I'm a bad example, but
Diddy, though,
like, most people could not feel bad if people continue to buy the tickets. They couldn't. And I can't blame them for that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, anybody who bought a ticket after that was like,
exactly.
Talking about, it was a tribute. No, it wasn't. Like, y'all didn't even know. They didn't tell y'all. But yeah, so his interest in him grows, the reaction that I thought, not at all.
People were surprised.
There's a few people who, they try to, like, call the police or report him in some way, and they're kind of intimidated or just straight up ignored.
By the police?
Yeah.
Do you think he paid them off?
Absolutely. Or they were on one of them tapes.
Oh,
like instead of even getting paid, he had just invited them to a party and caught them doing something that they probably shouldn't have been doing, and he was like, well, it's cheaper to go ahead and blackmail you.
Yikes.
So my coworker thinks Diddy ain't going to jail. I'm trying to figure out how.